even know my own song.
Hey! Look at that. So that's that. The song's 1 minute and 52 seconds long. Um, mhm. It gives me enough time to like bop a little bit, get that energy up. Hey y'all! Welcome to Trek Talk. We are live on twitch.tv/calling up justice. We are live on YouTube, Claudia Alick calling up justice, and we are live on TikTok. Claudia, which you're on at Claudia Alick Love or
At Claudia Alick Love.
at Claudia? All right, and we have Letitia Andre Doucette with us.
Ooh.
I'm really excited. You might be wondering why I asked you to be here, because I did specifically ask that you come to the Trek Talk. Because
I feel honored.
yeah, I spent the first part of this day, or the bulk majority of this day, making a presentation that I would like to present to you all, to both of you, and to the world. The chat is open in all of these different locations, so if you have any questions in the question section, you let me know. Okay, let's. I'm a little nervous, but also not nervous at all, because my picture went away, and that's because I know what I'm talking about. This I call the new Star Trek Prime timeline, a theory by Maiamama.
Okay.
So,
and I'll mute myself.
No, you don't have to mute yourself. You can talk. I mean, you're allowed to react. Like right. You're a living being. So, we're going to talk, this is going to have temporal Cold War stuff into it. The reason why I think this theory matters is because people are getting really hung up on certain aesthetic differences between Star Trek, the original series, and Star Trek Strange New Worlds, and how this affects canon. It fixes it. Let's begin. Okay. Right. So this is the post temporal Cold War. So 1992 to 1996, we have the eugenics wars. 2024, the Sanctuary District and Bell riots. The World War III in the 2230s to 2250s ends around 2253, and then First Contact. Like, that's how it went. And this is Zephram Cochrane. This is the Zephram Cochrane of that world.
Got it. I remember that Zephram Cochrane because he had a real interesting relationship with an alien. It had a lot of trans themes for an original episode. It did. Yeah.
And this Zephram Cochrane, this picture is circa 2267 when he had his encounter with the Enterprise. So then we go into the TOS era. So this is when we have this original Pike and original Kirk.
Got it.
We move into the TNG era. This is our classic. We've seen all of this. We know this stuff. We have DS9. We have Voyager.
Okay.
And then came the long road. That
It
took
was
me a
a
while.
long
That took me a little
road
while to make.
getting
Now,
from
this
there
is
to
okay.
here.
So now I messed up a little bit on the animation. So get over it.
No, it was perfect. It
Um,
was perfect.
well,
This
no,
is
for this,
amazing.
but for this part. So okay, so we have Enterprise. Enterprise happens. The events of Enterprise, and we have the Temporal Cold War, which actually begins in the 22nd century. So technically, it had not happened and is happening. It's like that song from Adventure Time.
It has not happened, and it's happening.
So this was this. So okay, there's the picture, and now here's a little. There's woo, the Temporal Cold War, and there we got. So this is what we had previously, and then, okay, not that.
This is so
This is right. Now we don't actually know when the eugenics wars happened, but they happened sometime in the 20-somethings.
cool. Okay.
Same with the Bell riots. They happened, but we don't actually know when. It is still plausible that the World War III will break out in between 5 years and 25 years. That's perfectly reasonable right now. And first
Really
contact.
all Donald Trump is trying to do. He's trying to keep the timeline going for Star Trek.
Oh, snap. Uh, so, because of all of these things, we have Discovery and Strange New Worlds. Because of the Temporal Cold War, because of Daniels and because of people popping in and out and around things, they subtly made changes to the culture. Every time somebody went back in time to try to unalive Khan, it made slight, subtle changes to the timeline. Slight cultural changes, but for the most part, everything stays intact.
Okay. Okay. All right.
So we get things like the Enterprise has a very large kitchen in the captain's quarters.
Right. Never a thing in Kirk's time.
Yeah,
Because
but
they had the cubes.
because of slight fluctuations, because they talked about it in the episode Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow, that there are constantly slight changes that have been made to the timeline over and over and over, slight minute things, but as long as the main thing happens, like Khan has to exist, the eugenics wars have to happen, but there's going to be little tiny changes. We're going to see Kelpians. We're going to see some.
I have a question.
Yes.
All right. Oh, so okay, it's interesting. So you're saying, like the existence, the presence of Kelpians is one of the temporal ripples. That's
Yes.
your argument. Like Kelpians, even like being a thing is a temporal ripple because they were not a thing.
I'm not
in
even
the
saying that they.
original series to the TNG to the DS9 timeline. There was no Kelpians. It was never a thing.
Well, Kelpians existed. But what
Like,
I'm saying is that, yeah, like we had no contact. We'd never made any contact. For example, like maybe in the pre-Temporal Cold War Prime universe, Saru never called for help.
Right.
You know, like there's these slight things. And like, so we have that.
Okay. But I have a question. I didn't get to my question.
Oh.
My question.
Tell me about your question.
So you're suggesting that this is an overwrite. So like I've got like like I have a disc and it's got all my episodes of TV on it, and then I recorded something over them. Like this is not an alternate dimension. This is changing what happened.
This is the same timeline, but different because of slight changes. So we have
shifted like people from like Janeway and why she's such a problem because she keeps doing that thing. So every time like she's running around being Janeway.
Janeway being Janeway.
It's
So,
shifting things, but it's still the same timeline.
so
Yeah,
we get
fact.
little things like this nice, sweet, young, handsome Kirk, and um, and very, 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 very close to the exact same thing of TNG.
Okay.
Same with DS9. DS9 is slightly modified, but not that much. And the slight modifications have to do with Mariner and Shax
Yeah, I was gonna
having
say
having
Texas.
relationships with them that we didn't see in the prior thing. So,
So,
and the same with Voyager. Most of the exact same things. And then we have Lower Decks.
oh shit. Okay, I get what I see what you're throwing down. So you're suggesting that the time travel ripples are what gives us lower decks. Like we got
Yes.
like lower. Oh, okay, okay.
Yep. It's what gives
And
us
Prodigy.
Prodigy.
Okay, okay.
It's what gives us Picard.
And also the multiple Spocks that happen in the movie.
Yeah, all the Spocks, and but that's why. That's
Yeah.
why it's like
So,
this. So like this is so as you can see, this picture right here is a really good example because it's the same ship, but like also everyone's not quite exactly, you know. You know how we complained when we watched the first and second? I mean, I know that Letitia, you did not, and I'm not encouraging you to. Uh
yeah,
Luna,
no, you don't need to
Luna
watch the
hints
card.
at me.
yeah.
She hated Picard, and now I'm like, I think her ghost is gonna haunt me if I. But it did feel like off because everyone kind of looked weird, behaved weird,
Just
and
a
I was
little,
like, it's
they're the same people, but just like there are slight
off.
cultural shifts in a lot of their behaviors. Some people are exactly the same
But
and don't seem
okay,
different at all.
I appreciate you being like, hey, so you feel like, so you know how like in the TNG movies they all seem a little off. You remember how there was time travel in the first TNG movie? Not really the same characters after that. They've all been temporarily shifted just a little bit.
Yep.
Sometimes it changes their hair, sometimes it changes their attitude.
Hmm.
I'm not mad at this. I like this. This your arguments are working for me. I
So
like
so now we come to there's some displacement events that affect time. We have the
okay.
crew of the Discovery in the 30th century. We have crewman Daniels is actually Kovich. We have Wesley Crusher, who is everywhere and nowhere in time.
Right?
We have Philippa Giorgio. I just really like this picture also, and
Yeah, yeah.
of course we have Carl. Carl, who was a unwitting and active participant in the temporal Cold War, which is why he had to hide out in this one episode where we found that we got to see him again, the Guardian of Forever, also known as Carl.
It's interesting, Maya, that you are elevating Carl to be above all of the other time travel shenanigan aliens and majiggers out there. I feel like in the Star Trek universe, there's so many different ways to travel in time and mess with time. Um, so yeah, I'm fascinated that you're like Carl's up there because you don't have Q. Where's Q?
Q didn't really make any permanent changes to the timeline.
Oh, I disagree. I strongly disagree.
Really?
All right, so
Really?
um, if you think about the Borg, what? Why? Why did Q go? You know what I need to do? I need to make sure these humans have an encounter with these Borg at this period of time. And he sets in motion a bunch of things that involve time travel shenanigans. Because the Borg are doing time travel, and Q's like up in there making sure the humans and the Borg are doing a thing.
What?
There's time travel
There
shenanigans.
wasn't any time travel in that. That was just Q flicking the Enterprise into the Delta Quadrant.
Q exists outside of time and space.
Uh huh.
Q knows everything. So there's a reason why Q's like, I'm gonna put my finger in the sauce and mix, and I'm gonna have the humans have an encounter with the Q that they never would have had. Like that wouldn't have happened if Q hadn't been like, hey, let me mess
I
around.
respectfully disagree. Q says he knows everything, but the Q are not omniscient. They are not. The Q do not know everything. It has been proven numerous times that they do not know everything. I mean, because like they make a lot of mistakes,
All right.
and they have an awful lot of rules for people that have.
Prior season 2 of Picard is Q doing time shenanigans. The entire last episode of Star Trek The Next Generation is Q doing time shenanigans. I'm just saying, I'm surprised you don't have Q's picture up there with Carl. I think potentially Q has as much impact on time and space and whatnot as Carl. That's all I'm saying.
But wait a minute, isn't this why we have Guinan though? Doesn't she? Isn't she the one who always can correct what
She,
Q can do, and that's why he's afraid of her because she's super super powerful.
she knows what is and what and what is and how it should be. Like she knows what it should be.
She's just a black woman, basically.
Yeah, she knows how it is and she tells it. Um okay, so that's it's
I
just
really enjoyed having
fascinating
a
what you're
fight
saying
with
cuz
you
like
about that. That was fun.
again I really really disagree on now I do think that Q is very overpowered and does a lot and he does mess with time, but every okay, no, that's not true. So,
I'm interrupting you in the middle of your very complex and amazing presentation.
I
You
think
go
the
ahead
last
and
thing we have is just my conclusion. The
chaotic.
conclusion. Then we'll just go to the conclusion
Okay.
then.
All right.
Yeah, it says the Star Trek universe has grown and evolved, especially with new wave shows like Discovery, Strange New Worlds, and Picard. These series bring fresh storytelling, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, yes, things look different. The tech is sleeker, the costume's more dynamic, the tone can shift between gritty, hopeful, and bold. But here's the deal, it is canon. It all connects. And now you've seen the pre First Contact timeline. You can see how the pieces fit together. So to those stuck in nostalgic, get over it. This is Star Trek Questions. Now, that's it.
Wow.
That's it. And I'm tired of people being like
Perfect.
I get it in Star
Perfect.
Wars. In Star Wars, all of the machines look exactly the same no matter what the time is. You know, they look all like cobbled together keyboards and calculators. And that doesn't change. But in Star Trek, we shift aesthetics, or they shift aesthetics, and I'm saying those are just shifts in the timeline, and it's fine.
And what did you call this? What was this presentation called?
Um, it's called the New Prime Timeline.
Amazing. Maiamama, you go ahead and put us on camera because I want to be on camera when I say your presentation on the
Hold on, let me.
on the new prime timeline was amazing. Can we? I'm just
There we
like
go.
I'm giving you a round of applause for your presentation on the new prime timeline. I'm letting you know you've had an audience for this, and like they did enjoy me having a fake fight with you about Q. I can always tell, y'all, this is me just speaking to the audience. Sometimes I'm just talking about something because I know it's irritating my colleague. So I knew Maiamama made very specific choices, and I was like, okay, what can I make a joke about? Where is Q?
I thought about it. I
was
thought
so
about
funny.
it, and then I thought,
Audience enjoyed the joke, but audience really enjoyed you. So just like lots of affirmation, I want to let you know you've got lots of affirmation out there for the new prime timeline. This is you arguing everything's canon even the shit that's super cringe that we hate from the original series. I'm fascinated.
All of it happened. All of it happened. That is what I am saying. So like that time that Pike said that he just wasn't used to women on the bridge, but
That happened.
that happened. But then also the Pike that is that has a girlfriend that is a captain, yeah, of another ship and a lawyer. That also happened.
I'm going to make an argument as well. Maiamama. I'm going to say yes to your supposition that because of the Time War, we're seeing a timeline that is fluctuating in real time as we're watching it. I think it's true for the original series. I think that there were times that, like, where things changed fundamentally from season 1 to season 2. In season 3, there were moments where it was just like, wait a second. 2 episodes ago, this wasn't true about Starfleet. But you know what? Yes, it was. Because when Quark went back in time and messed with Earth, weird stuff happened. And for a weird period of time, that's why we got that 1 episode. And then they made it go back.
That time Voyager went back in time to San Francisco, and there were ships going off and all kinds of blasty blasts and things happening at the at the observatory, like all of those things. Like, I've been there. Tons of people hang out there during the day, and so like that was witnessed, and so that's another thing that can like make slight ripples. Rain did not go with them, but also her memory wasn't wiped. So I'm sure that she talked about Vulcans and talked about like certain types of things. So like maybe people were a lot softer and more welcoming to Vulcans. Who knows? Maybe that helped.
No, that's true. It's also why you would have the Klingons actually changing their morphology changes, right? They didn't have kind of the ridges. They were dark skinned, and then all of a sudden it's Benedict Cumberbatch white guys.
Well,
It's come.
They also really, really, really got into genetic modification, and they kind of like messed themselves up. They did figure out how to fix it. I think it's amazing that Klingons are probably have most like the highest like levels of education and like gene stuff, but it is absolutely not something that is appropriate for a Klingon to ever do.
I loved how Worf was just like, we don't talk about it.
It's really embarrassing.
No, Maiamama, you know, I recognize that, like, you've done some incredible logicking to, like, tie it all together to make it sense for us, when these are choices that, you know, are being made because they hired a different makeup designer, and that makeup designer was told you're not allowed to use the other person's design. You got to make something new up.
Yeah.
And that's insane. Like, capitalism makes for insane storytelling, where it's like, wait a second, you couldn't wait a little while so you could like have it. Why is Kim Cattrall suddenly playing this character? So like, I appreciate the elegance and logic of all of this, because it really does. I think it gives me spaces to do some fun headcanon, to do some fun imagining. I love this idea. I love it. The new time, what you call the new prime timeline?
It's the new prime timeline. And because, like, here's the thing is that, like, so that means that Kirk, William Shatner Kirk, and Paul Wesley, that's his name, Paul Wesley, Stefan Salvatore, they both exist, and they are almost the same person, but the one from Strange New Worlds knows about David.
Right.
Remember that argument we had? We were like that, but he doesn't. He's not supposed to know about David until the movie, and da 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 da. But this one does know about David. And that's okay. It's okay that he knows about that. It's just a slight shift in the timeline.
You're arguing it is not a separate timeline because, I thought you were going to argue that this was
Nope.
like the movies with
You like the
what
sacred timeline type of thing?
and the well, no, like you've got the movies where it's like, okay, so
Hmm.
Spock's like, oh, like the Romulus explodes, and then
Oh, the
Spock's like,
Kelvin verse.
"Oh,
Yeah.
my bad.
Yeah, the
Let me
Kelvin
like
timeline.
get into this like machine and go." And then like total time shenanigans happens, but that creates a separate Kelvin timeline.
Yes.
You're arguing that this is not creating a separate Strange New Worlds timeline. This is us saying that there is a rippling and warping that's been happening all the time, and sometimes I think I like this idea that I've had that is building on your idea that
Hmm.
is at any point in a season we might be getting some ripples, and that's where all of the inconsistencies come from. It's like, oh
That's
yeah,
it.
no,
Yeah.
reality was different that episode because time travel happened.
Somebody did a thing. Somebody stepped on a
Someone did
butterfly.
something.
Someone stepped on a
Anyway,
butterfly, and things were a little bananas for a minute.
I like this because it also makes that Bizarro movie that we all watched make a little bit more sense with that looked like AI, but it was not AI, but was
Yeah.
AI.
Oh, the movie, the Star Trek 31,
Yeah.
sorry, Section 31, that is neither Star Trek nor Section 31.
No, the other one that we saw, the little,
Oh, the little
short,
guy. Oh, the little short.
the
Yeah.
short with this William Shatner.
Fascinating. You know, it gives me a little extra hand cannon to say, like, so that Kirk, that's like that Kirk is gone. And he went to go be with his friend. He's gone. And now we have this new Paul Wesley Kirk.
Ooh. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Like, that's
Um.
how the overwriting. Um,
So there are things I will acknowledge. There are things about the Strange New Worlds universe that do sometimes bother me, like the
mhm.
fact that he has a full kitchen, because like there were certain logics to the way that Roddenberry imagined star travel would work, and it's like, well, yeah, like going out on a 2 or 3 year tour is tough. Like you're on this thing, you have to like take this little block, stick it in a machine, and then it's gonna pop out a meal for you, and it has to be coded, and like all of that is energy, and you have to like get energy from places. Like there was like logics. I feel like to a certain extent, Strange New Worlds has some more fantasy elements in the ways that it presents the world to me.
Well, I think that a lot of that started to change in Enterprise.
Ooh,
A
say more.
lot of those type of
Yeah,
things started to change. Like,
right.
um, it started to become a little bit more normal and standard for our captains to have like more of like, come on over to my house rather
Yeah.
than come to my quarters. Um, there was this sort of, now I will say that technically speaking, Captain Archer did not have people come over to his house. He invited them into his private dining room.
But
Because
here's
he had a private chef and he had his own private galley.
like the logics of having being able to have a private galley on a starship don't make sense. So like I appreciate that in the 1960s when Roddenberry was originally imagining this, they didn't try to like be like, "Oh yeah, there's going to be magic technology that lets you like have just a magic fridge." I appreciated that they were like, "Oh yeah, that way when you land on a planet, you appreciate the food that's there because you've been eating weird brick fake stuff this entire time."
Well,
Um,
most of
But
what
isn't
they
that how
eat is
ships work?
synthesized. Yeah, most of what everyone eats is synthesized. Like, they don't. So, like, when Pike eats a big fresh meal, that's he does not do that every day.
No, he's doing it up. That's a thing.
That's like it's a oh, I'm making everyone dinner. Like when it's just him, he eats what everyone else eats, like, which is the food synthesizer, because they don't have replicators yet. Replicators don't exist during that. They have the food synthesizer still.
I do think that you're. I think it's telling that Archer had a private chef. Kirk didn't have a private chef.
No.
Huh.
But Pike doesn't have a cook. He doesn't have a like his own thing, even though, well, let's see, and Picard did not. No, he did not.
No.
No.
But like you also have Neelix in Voyager, and they had to go and source food from different planets and things like that.
And the kitchen they used was Janeway's private captain's cook room that no one else had. That was hers. That entire area.
Oh my God, that's so real.
The whole damn calf. That was hers. I actually think that's actually kind of insane now because of the size of it. Maybe it wasn't that big. Like, and they expanded it because, like, everybody ate there. The entire crew.
Star Trek has so much time travel. I'm just sitting here just tripping on the fact that, like, every single iteration of Star Trek has had a bunch of time travel in it that messes with the logics of how it's all supposed to work. And so if you're like a canon nerd that's like, well, these are the rules of how this universe works, it's hard to make that work in a world that's always changing.
Mm-hmm. Well,
but isn't that life? And that sounds like white people. So,
well, what it tells me is that anything that I see on Star Trek that takes place between the 22nd and the 31st century is wibbly wobbly, timey wimey, y'all. It is.
No,
they told us.
But they're arguing everything's timey. Well, you said the 50. Wait, what are the centuries you're telling me?
The 22nd, which is, and the 31st century, which is literally every bit of Star Trek that we have seen.
Okay, great. Like Deep Space Nine was doing timey wimey stuff, like on a cosmic level.
Yes.
Where it's like, did you like become a black person in the past and write science fiction stories that were your life story? What are you doing?
That Dr. Mbenga then also read those stories to his daughter?
Yeah, exactly. Like this is why your idea is so brilliant, Maya, because you're tying together, oh yeah, when Deep Space Nine did it, it's like time travel shenanigans. That's what we're witnessing. We're witnessing impacts of that in this strange new world. I love it.
These are the so when you watch Star Trek, when you're watching Star Trek canonically or not chronologically, you watch it in the order that it came out because that's actually the correct chronology.
Oh shit. Oh, I like that. Oh, so TOS, TNG, DS9,
Voyager, and
Enterprise. You gotta do Enterprise.
And then Enterprise. Then all the changes happen.
I skipped the first animated series. But yeah.
I mean, it's fun, but like.
But no, Maya actually.
No, because Carl's in it.
Yes, there's canon events. This is what I think is amazing. Fucking Star Trek. There are canon events that take place in the animated series, and it's not good. Like I personally find it difficult to watch. I don't think it's that great. Actually.
One good episode.
But if you want to understand some references and jokes in Lower Decks, you're gonna have to watch it.
At the very least, watch Yesteryear, y'all. It's the second episode of the first season of Star Trek the Animated Series. It's the only good one, and it is important. It's important. It's the one with Ichaya, and
it's fundamentally understanding some logics of a species. Where I'm like, oh, Lower Decks, you made it necessary for me to watch the animated series. The bitches.
Well, and even the ways that the crew of the Cerritos are often like talking about historical points, important historical points. Like they to me that's like part of it. Like that's part of them a- absorbing this new timeline.
But even like Star Trek Prodigy, like Star Trek Prodigy is all time travel shenanigans. I love Prodigy, but I'm like, oh yeah.
That's why, yeah, that's why I added Wesley Crusher when I was thinking of like all of the different weird. I was thinking of, so what I was thinking of was actual. So part of the reason, now I remember, part of the reason why I didn't really include um, uh, Q is that Q doesn't actually exist in, he lives in the continuum, which isn't in this universal timeline. Like he lives outside of it. Carl
Oh,
exists
okay.
in this timeline, and so does
Oh,
Wesley Crusher.
okay.
I mean, despite the fact that Wesley Crusher, but there's certain displacements. So Discovery being moved back, that changed and rippled things. The fact that no one knows that it existed, but also it existed and everyone knows that it did. Um, but something, yeah. And all the stuff with Giorgio, and then even Carl moving to a different planet because he was not in the same place where he had been before. He was
Does
like, I gotta
does
go.
this resolve the Section 31 movie?
No.
No, but also maybe this is what it looks like as things are shifting,
Yeah.
that people can look a little weird, and maybe they're in that in between, like, if there's like a phase that's going like this, they're in that space in
You
between, and
both
that's
said
what we saw.
no so confidently. I thought that this theory
Other than
fixes.
other than the fact that somebody messed up something big
Well, okay,
and they
okay.
had to fix, and I hope that they found someone to go back in time and fix it so that the events of section 31 did not ever happen.
So here's my this is my suggestion, right? So a Kovich, who is our time traveling Daniels, right, is like, ooh, Giorgio has shifted and changed and grown and cannot be sent back. Like
Yeah,
that's not gonna work. Not sure what to do with you. I'm gonna have Carl figure out if they can find a place for you because you will. Like you're so different. You can't. You literally. You're so amazing, but like existence will break with you. You will break. You can't exist.
she was
You
gonna
cannot.
like spaghettify
Yeah.
essentially.
So he says it to Carl. Carl's like, well, first let's see if you've like you really have changed so fundamentally that you can't go back. Fundamentally changed. Awesome. I'm gonna shunt you into this weird pocket of time where everything's weird and different. Where we're
Fair
all
enough.
so like it doesn't feel like Star Trek. Nothing makes sense. Characters are doing nonsense. That one character is just like for what? For why? Because time travel.
And because she's not in the same timeline as the rest
Exactly.
of them, she's somewhere else, but that's okay. Maybe her wacky universe is going to be great, but it does not exist in the prime timeline. And
I'm
that's
right.
and
This is my solution to all Star Trek not making
um
goddamn
but
sense.
here's the thing.
Because
But
time
also
travel.
but but it's still canonical and it still happened. It still happened. Everything that happened in that movie, even though I didn't like it, it is
Still
Star
happen.
Trek and it still happened and we just have to live with that.
Hey,
Uh
William Shatner met God, and nobody liked it. It was awful, and we talked about it for years. I love that we have Section 31 as well.
Fair enough. Well, like I love Star Trek.
Exactly. Bad Star Trek is awesome.
It's
I'll fight you.
it's it's
Trek
still
is
Star
so
Trek.
Star Trek. I think for me, what this also brings is that, when we first meet Cisco, right? And then the wonderful little gods are like, are you Why are you stuck in time? But he's going to be a god too. So, him having that emotional stuck in time probably also caused shifts and rifts,
Yes. Well, it
as well as his wife Jennifer also causing shifts and rifts. Her physically like just dying also.
Yup.
Boom, right? And then they had a baby, right? So you get two gods who can manipulate time giving birth. Jake also is shifting the time as well.
yeah, he went a little shifty. And we loved him.
What?
We
Yeah.
loved that. We loved
Yeah.
that. That was one of the best
Yeah.
And then
episodes
you
ever.
have
Tony Todd was killing it in that episode. Woo.
was, and then you had Keiko and O'Brien's daughter.
Yep.
Right? Having
Little
that
Molly.
little massive moment of time shenanigans.
100%.
So there was a lot of stuff,
like,
and even at the end, when,
even him, like he had an entire episode
Yeah.
where he was just like time traveling, popping into instances of himself and all kinds of things. Come on.
We have the entire crew of the Defiant who crash landed on a planet and made an entire like group settlement of people
yes,
that both existed and didn't and never existed. We don't know.
Yes.
We don't know if they are. They aren't in this timeline, but who knows what's
What
happening.
I like is that your vision is not a linear vision. Like Maya, you're arguing
It is
that
not linear.
it is not linear. Yes, I love that it is not linear. Quoting from DS9, the wormhole aliens. It is not linear. You are saying, oh yeah, audience, watch all of the Star Trek in the order it was written and produced. That's the correct order.
Yes.
Because like the metaphor you're kind of making is storytelling choices as also time travel, and having ripple effects forward and backward in time. I love this as a way of tying together a gigantic story and making it all fit together. I like that there's no piece of Star Trek that doesn't work now. It's a brilliant. I love the vision.
Yeah, it makes. Well, I was just getting a little tired of hearing complaints when people run out of story complaints, when we talk them down and they have to admit that like story wise they don't hate it, but then they talk about how they just don't like how it looks because it doesn't look right. Yes, it does. And now you can't say that anymore. You can't say it doesn't look right, or they're not acting the way they're supposed to. Yes, they are. That's exactly who they are.
Also, I think that there's something exhausting and colonialist about always having to replicate the design choices and logics of the narrow-minded white dudes that got to be in control of stuff, 30 or 40 or 50 years ago. Like, I enjoy the pleasures of long-form storytelling where it's like, oh yeah, this is franchise. They've been doing the Doctor Who's for 50 years. I enjoy that. But then when somebody goes, the choices that were made by those racist, heterosexist white dudes 50 years ago, you have to replicate them. And if you don't, you're doing it wrong. And I go, I don't think you understand how stories work, dude.
I have a theory that Una Chin Riley was prosecuted and kicked out of Starfleet in the old timeline.
Yep.
And that's
Yep.
why she is never, ever mentioned.
Okay.
Ever. Because, because in Lower Decks, they're like, oh, another, and they also had they had some time travel-y stuff going on, that definitely affected the timeline. It had to have.
So
But
you think that in the original timeline, number one, like we got the pilot episode and then number one got arrested, and that's why we never heard about that character ever again.
yes.
I agree.
And that's just because during that period of time when that existed, they were a lot more xenophobic. They were. We know it for a fact. In the episode, the menagerie, there's like this thing written down, and it's just like the way that they describe Spock as the like half breed human Vulcan, which is just like, that's, you're the Federation. Like, so there were some there were some fluctuation-y, flowy time things that happened that made certain things easier. I think as far as having like say Vulcan and human interpersonal relationships, like dating and having children and stuff. I think that there was some boosts in like
Maya, Mama Maya. Did you know that Star Trek Strange New Worlds was starting again today? That you were talking about a show, and then we could stop talking about the show, and then I could watch season 3, episode 1.
I gotta
Like
go.
yeah,
I didn't. I've been waiting. I knew it was coming pretty soon. And I checked, but I forgot that it was exactly today, which is Thursday, which is part of the reason why I do Trek Talk on Thursdays. Yes.
Ooh, yeah, we do Trek Talk on Thursdays because that's when Trek.
Because it's the new Star Trek Day. Because it's Star Trek Day.
I'm so excited.
So we're gonna talk about Strange New Worlds next week.
I mean, we should. I think we're gonna have to. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. So yeah, there is a new episode.
I'm so excited.
Season.
Are they
There's
gonna let-
2.
Oh no, I know they gotta. Oh, we get to watch.
So we get to go Hegemony Part 2 and Wedding Bell Blues, and I don't. That's
Wedding
the.
Bell Blue?
I didn't even. I'm not reading the blurbs. I'm just gonna.
No, don't even, I'm not even reading.
I'm gonna watch Star Trek.
Myself super ignorant, so this moment would happen where I could have maximum pleasure and excitement of finding out that I get to watch it. I've been watching Murderbot and Foundation, and I finished Murderbot, and I wasn't sure what I was gonna do with myself, but now I've got Star Trek, and all is well. Star Trek. What?
We did it.
Correct, audience member. We are also joined by others in the TikTok that are equally excited about the fact that Star Trek New Worlds is coming out today. We can watch the episode, and then we can talk about it next week. So,
Yes.
Maiamama, thank you for pulling us together. You had a vision. You came to our organizing meeting this morning, and you were like, I've been captured by the vision, and I've been working on a thing, and we were all like, what is Maiamama working on? And this was definitely this timeline idea is amazing. I think you might need to make some memes. I think you might need to write some articles. I think people on Tumblr need to be talking about this. In the meantime, I can't wait to talk about Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 3, Episodes 1 and 2 with you next week.
Which is 100% canonical, both historically and canonically. Because everything that's supposed to happen will happen, y'all. Pike saw the future, and he's like, okay. Well, no. Like, be real. That is exactly
like a weird white man's burden. Okay.
I mean, it kind of is, because like at first he was like, "Do I have to?" And then they show him, "Yeah, you do," and he's like, "Ugh, fine. Like I'll do it." He doesn't even know that he's gonna end up like living forever. Which is
it's a really nice ending, and I'm like, you should let him. I guess they can't though.
No, they can't. Well, see, because the thing is. Yeah, you can't. I mean, I do think that maybe Beckett and Mariner. Oh, wait, they don't know.
They don't.
He just disappeared one day.
Exactly.
So all they know, all anyone knows, because it's very, very, very classified. Like, it's the only thing that is an executable crime is going to Talos. So, no one knows except for the Enterprise crew, and none of them are, well, Scotty's still around.
Discovery crew knows.
Yeah, but they're in the 30th century, so that doesn't.
Exactly.
They're at the end of the story. But see, that's the thing. So they're at the end of the, because they talk about the temporal Cold War ending in the 31st century. And so, and then our first Star Trek is when it started. And that's why anything that happens in between that time, is canonical and makes sense.
Maiamama, I just got to say this. We're going to have to revisit this topic. I sense that we might need to make some long form YouTube tutorials on this idea. It's really good, and it doesn't exist yet. I know this because I'm a weirdo that watches hours and hours of people being like, I came up with this Star Trek idea in my head, and I made a video about it. And this is unique and brilliant, and the people need to know. Thank you for sharing it with us.
So happy to do that. All right, I'm going to do my transitioning thing where I do a bunch of talking. So, say bye, peace and long life on camera, and I'm going over here, and then I'm going to play the music. I lost my mouse. Oh, and I'm going to turn it up. Thank you so much for joining us. This is Trek Talk, a Calling Up Justice production. I am your host, Maiamama. For more information on me, check out my link in the chat. That's Linktree. And in the show notes, that's Linktree/Maiamama. Special thanks to our guests, Letitia Andre Doucette and Claudia Alick. And if you'd like to get more information on Calling Up Justice, I'm going to stick that in the chat as well. Y'all, this was amazing. So happy to have wonderful guests listen to me. And I guess we did it. We won. I won Star Trek. Peace and long life. I love you. Bye-bye.